Hey guys, Weeby News here. So today I'm going to be doing my top 5 saddest moments of the Danganronpa series. It's been quite a while since I've done a top list, and I enjoy making these videos. They're pretty easy to make, and you guys seem to enjoy them too, so I thought it might be a fun, quick video to make. But anyways, if you are new to the channel, there will not be any V3 moments in this list, and please don't comment any sad V3 moments in the comment section as well. I'm keeping this whole channel, including the videos and the comment section, V3 spoiler free until it releases in the West. But with that out of the way, feel free to leave your own top 5 saddest moments of Danganronpa in the comment section as well. I love to see y'all's list in comparison to mine. But without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So number 5 on this list is after the second trial of Danganronpa 1, when you find out that Iwata was in fact the killer. So this is when you learn that he had killed Fujisaki in a blinding fit of rage and jealousy, that he truly did regret what he had done, also that he had blamed himself for the death of his brother, and on top of all of this, you have to see poor Ishimaru's reaction to finding out that his friend had committed murder firstly, and that he was about to die. I've always found this trial to just be so incredibly sad. I mean, not only was it the death of 2 really great characters, and it emotionally killed another great character, but I found it particularly more sad because I also felt like I was really able to sympathize with Iwata, because even though it was awful what he did, you could really tell that he did regret it, and at the end of the day, I do feel like he is a genuinely good person. He just doesn't have a good control of his temper and his anger. I found the fact that he still did decide to keep Fujisaki's secret even after he had killed him to also be a representation of how he did regret it. And it's even sadder later in the game when you do see that there was a picture of Iwata hanging out with Fujisaki and Leon, showing that they were friends in Hope's Peak Academy before they got their memories erased. Also, Ishimaru's reaction to this whole situation just, oh, so sad. His facial reactions just kill me every time. I can't remember how much they emphasize this in the story, but I do remember in Ishimaru's free time events, he does mention that he's never able to hold a decent conversation with any of his classmates because he's such a work-focused person. So this does imply to me that Iwata was his very first friend, and this is one of the reasons why he took this whole situation so hard. And the fact that this whole situation led to his eventual death as well is very upsetting to me too. Number 4 on this list is Sakura Ugami's death, which of course we know was a suicide. This was really sad to me, firstly because of Asahina's reaction to it. Always thought it was just absolutely insane how she was willing to go to such lengths to defend her friend's honor. And I know that she was being rash in her decision and that she wasn't really thinking it through very well, but I feel like her intentions of upholding Sakura's legacy were good in a way. Like, I don't think it was the right thing to do, but I always thought it was really courageous that she was willing to give up her own life in order to get revenge for her friend. It just really showed to me how close they became, and like I said, I don't think they were the right actions to make, but at the same time, I think people look over how far Asahina is willing to go to help or like protect her friends. I also find it really sad that even though Monokuma's letter was fake that he had sent to Asahina, and that she didn't kill herself because of the others being cruel to her, it is sad to me that all of her final interactions with Hagakure and Fukawa were pretty negative. I always found Sakura to be a really inspiring character as well, and although of course it was bad that she agreed to betray the other students, I always felt like Monokuma put her in this really bad situation where at the very beginning, before she knew everyone, he took advantage of one of her vulnerabilities, and then of course when she went against him, he made it sound as if she had been a traitor all along, which caused everyone to become chaotic and to lose harmony, and she knew that this would eventually lead to murder, and the fact that she felt responsible for this and took her own life to prevent a murder from happening really shows a lot of courage to me, and like I said, I just think she's a really inspirational character. I honestly really wish that she would have been a survivor of the killing game, but at the same time, her death and this whole situation was one of the reasons why I came to love her character so much. Number 3 on this list is Gundham Tanaka's death from Super Danganronpa 2. And firstly, I do want to say that I know there's a lot of different arguments about Tanaka's actions in this trial and on whether or not he did this to save his own life or the lives of his friends, and I personally believe that Gundham did sacrifice himself in this trial, and that the reason he fought for his life was because he wanted to stick with his villain persona he had created for himself back when he was younger. I go through all of this in my Gundham Tanaka character analysis, so I'm gonna try to raise over it here. If you haven't watched that video, I recommend you watch that if you want to learn more about his character, because I'll just be kind of talking about everything briefly here. Basically, I think that since when Gundham was growing up, he was always treated as an outcast by his classmates and his family, with the exception of his mother. So after his mother died, he began to accept the lies that his classmates and the rest of his family would tell him, and that was why he kind of created this villain persona for himself. And I think in this trial, one of the reasons he fought so hard against the others is because it was easier for him to go out as this character rather than as a hero, since he probably still sees himself this way. I think another reason he did this is because he didn't want the rest of the students to be upset with his death. And I went back and rewatched my Gundam analysis, and when I was looking in the comment section, I noticed that one of you guys also put that a reason he may have fought so hard in the trial as well is because it would have been hypocritical for him to tell them to fight for their own life if he would have easily given up on his. I thought that was a cool interpretation of it as well. And it's also implied that Nidai felt the same way, and that was why he didn't back down from Gundam's challenge. So I think that they both decided to enter the situation in order to save the group, and having that end goal in mind. But this is just how I interpret it. I have seen others interpret it in different ways, so if you have a different idea regarding it, feel free to let me know below. So to me, I find this trial really sad because they both did have to sacrifice themselves for the good of the group, and neither of them really got any recognition for it because Nidai of course died and Gundham had to keep up this villain persona, so he never really got the praise that I felt like he deserved. Even from people who play the game, I feel like it's so hard to interpret this scene that a lot of the times people, including myself, didn't really understand it fully the first time we played it. And of course, seeing Sonya's reaction to Gundam's death was super sad as well. And of course the hamsters, I mean, how can you not find the hamsters' reaction sad? Those poor little things. Number 2 on this list is Pekko's death from Super Danganronpa 2. And I'm sure you guys saw this coming. I mean, I've seen this scene 5 different times and it still makes me tear up. I mean, honestly, to me, it's crazy that before this trial started, I didn't like Fuyuhiko at all, and I really didn't have any opinion on Pekko. I was completely indifferent, but by the end of the trial, I loved them both. I just felt like the writing for this was really on point with getting the emotional impact through. I mean, this trial was just a roller coaster for many different reasons, but I specifically found just the ending of this trial to be a major highlight of the second game. Seeing that Pekko was willing to go so far to sacrifice everything for him, I felt like it really emphasized how much she cared about him, and it's so sad to think that she was willing to go to all of these great lengths for him, but she never saw herself as more than a tool. And it seems like it's implied that he had mentioned it to her beforehand, but it seems like it really didn't go through, that he never thought of her as a tool, but he just wanted her to stand by his side as herself, and her reaction to that really shows that it finally sunk in that he loved her for who she was and not because she was a tool given to him by the Kuzuryu clan. But seeing this sink in just moments before her death is just, oh, it's so heartbreaking to me. Number 1 on this list, I'm sure, is not a surprise to anybody, and that is Chiaki's death from the Danganronpa 3 anime Despair Side. And although I do have my own personal grievances with the anime, I do find this scene to be the saddest in the franchise. I mentioned it in my final thoughts video, but it's just really heartbreaking to see the most hope-filled and sweet character in the series to get killed in the most fucked up way. And having to see her just struggle for her life underneath Izuru was just, oh, it's so sad. And like I said, I only really teared up for this part, even though I really don't 100% know why. I think I was just so in shock with how brutal it was. But when Hajime was talking to her AI on the boat was when I really just lost it, because as you can see in the scene when she's talking to Izuru, she's talking about how all she wishes is that she could see her friends one last time and be together with them. And the fact that everyone else survived and she was just killed in this horrible, horrible way. Just really tears at my heartstrings. I almost think if everybody else had died as well, like, it wouldn't have been as sad, but the fact that she was the only one out of the second class that stayed dead just emphasized the fact that she was never going to fulfill that dream that she'd mentioned to Izuru in her final moments. And it's just also sad that Hajime didn't even really come out when she was talking to Izuru in those final moments until it was the form of tears just right after she died, so she didn't even get to see that little glimpse of Hajime either before she passed. This whole scene is just so sad to me. Like, it's very hard for me to rewatch. I also do want to give a shout out to her death in Super Danganronpa 2 as well in this spot. I wanted to include it in the list, but I didn't want to give it its own spot because then almost half the video would just be me crying over Chiaki, and I don't know if anybody really wants to watch that. But obviously I found this scene super sad too, especially when she keeps on implying to Hajime that she's the traitor without straight up saying it, and then just having to see his face when you have to choose her as the culprit is just so sad because I just related to it so much. She was such a sweet and helpful character and kind of like the personification of like hope in the game, so having to watch her die for a murder that she was set up to commit was just super duper sad. But this will conclude my list. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to leave your own list down below in the comment section. I'd love to see what your saddest moments are compared to mine. As for the next video, I will be doing the Hajime character analysis, and I'm going to try to get it up on Wednesday. That's what I'm going for. So keep an eye out for that. And for this analysis, I will be needing fan art of Hajime, very similar to what I did with the Fukawa analysis. So I will be putting more information on my Twitter and my Tumblr and my Facebook in the coming days about what you would need to do to submit your fan art for the video if you would like for it to be featured. And along with that post, I'll also include specific things that I'll be needing for the video, so if you do want to draw something specifically for it, you can. So keep an eye out on those accounts if you're interested in that, and feel free to tell any artist friends you might have if you think they might be interested in submitting their work as well. But anyways, with that out of the way, I will try to keep you guys updated about when the next 999 live stream will be as well. I'm not 100% sure, probably in the next coming week or so. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you real soon.
Subscribe to Weeby News for more hope-filled videos.